I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next up, public to be heard, and I don't believe we have any. So we are going to go into public hearings, and we will have Mr. Smith take over now.
So I have two items to update the board and the public on. The first item is the safety plan, the district-wide safety plan. The district-wide safety plan is subject to board approval. Within the safety plan itself, there are building plans. Those are not released for released for obvious reasons. The only mandated change that we had to make in this year's plan is that we had to include our plans for remote learning, which is on page 20 of the document. So we essentially took our document from the COVID days and built it into this document here. So in the event, say we have a emergency shutdown, we have items spelled out in case we have to go into remote learning. So that's the only change there outside of the names. Some of the names have changed. We've updated those. But we now have a 30-day public comment period. This is on the website with Chad Bliss's email address. If the public has comments, they can contact Chad. This will be subject to your approval at the next board meeting, 30 days, and then we then submit it to the state. So any questions on that? Okay, the next one is a bit longer, but not as long as you might think. So we updated the code of conduct. Last year we had substantial revisions to the code of conduct. It had not been revised in a number of years. So we have some minor updates to the code of conduct. I've included for you a memo from our attorneys outside detailing what the changes are. Just a couple of changes that we made ourselves, and then I'll walk you through some of the highlights from the attorney changes. We now include e-cigarettes and vapes as an illegal substance. The first part of the code of conduct includes some definitions. So we've added e-cigarettes and vapes. We've also updated some policy and some regulation language there as well. I mentioned to you what the definitions are. Alcohol is still considered an illegal substance. We just took out the phrase alcohol because it's part of that. So alcohol is still not legal to have in school, but it is already defined as an illegal substance, so that avoids it gives us more consistency and avoids any possible confusion. Something that the board might want to think about in section 5, student staff dress code. This is going to go to the policy committee. We have a code of conduct in we have a dress code of conduct in our code of conduct. We also have a dress code policy in our board policy. So we don't need to have a dress code policy and board policy. So the question I would pose, or at least now, somewhat rhetorically, is do we want to have the dress code in the board policy? I would charge that with Barb and Ches to look at that in policy committee. They're recommending that we rescind that policy and just keep the dress code policy in the code of conduct where it probably does belong anyway. So I'll talk to Barb and Ches about that later on in policy meetings. Section 7, we've identified, this is the hot topic, artificial intelligence has now been included as a use of possible plagiarism. Section 8, we updated some new citations there for education law. Section 9, again, we removed alcohol. Alcohol is still an illegal substance. We already have it defined. We updated section 10 on weapons and firearms. We cleaned up some language there. We again in section 16 we added illegal substances throughout the code for the conduct on school property. And what we're doing now is having a public hearing on this. So this is the opportunity to hear from the public. There aren't any comments. So those are the changes from our attorneys. If the board is satisfied with this, we can then approve it later on in the meeting. So any questions on that? It's just some minor updates. I think the big question is, do we want to keep the dress code in board policy? We don't need it there, but we can explore that more in policy committee with Barb and Ches. And that's it.
Okay, I'll ask one more time. Any questions or anybody have anything they want to discuss on this? No? All right, could I have a motion to come out to close the public hearing?
So move.
Ms. Bowman, could I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Anderson?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right. Mr. Smith, you're on the hot seat. You're up next with your
Yeah,
report.
all right, so just a handful of items here. Last week, we had our annual leadership retreat in Ellicottville. We had some great trainings and speakers. One of the keynote speakers really spent time talking about social and emotional learning. We're going to be planning some pieces up this year at a leadership team to address that with our students. We, as our own team, continued our work on our diversity and equity policies. We also brought in a facilitator to work with us on fine-tuning our shared decision-making teams. Those were very well received. Tricia and Molly, were there any comments you want to add to those?
Oh, it was very interesting, and I think the principals and all the administrators that attended took away some items that they can definitely bring back to the buildings that we can incorporate into what we're doing.
Molly?
It's also really a nice time to collaborate with colleagues from around the region. You know, we have some new people working with us, and it was a great time for them to meet others there and just have time to think and talk. Jenny from the high school was so excited to see how we do business here in our region.
So at the end of August, we're going to have new teacher orientation. We have several new employees we're going to be welcoming. What I'm really excited about this year part of that orientation will be held at the Holland Land Office. We're going to do a little tour of Batavia after that. Ryan Duffy's going to give a little orientation of the museum. And then myself and Amory Starwich, we put together a tour of Batavia to show our new employees kind of the character of our city. So that's coming up at the end of August. Again, Bonnie and Tricia have been working hard on that. This week we're going to launch Parent Square. You heard Emily Benedict talk about that in June. Emails will be coming to our parents with lots of instruction as to how to sign up. Parents don't have to sign up if they don't want to. They'll still get the emails. The sign up simply it will allow them to interact with Parent Square itself, but they will still get the emails whether they sign up or not. So that's coming up this week. As Molly mentioned, Jenny West, our new principal, began last week, and we're planning an open house in September for the board to meet all of our new admins that we've hired. The hiring process is happening as we speak. We're still hiring some last-minute teachers here and there, but we'll be fully staffed for the first day of school. And finally, later on tonight, the board will be accepting the retirement of Mike Bromley. Mike has been a long-time athletic director since 1999, so I just would congratulate him and thank him for his years of service, and the search for that position will begin as soon as possible. So any questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, we're on to our consent grouping, and want to ask if there's any questions or discussions on any of the consent items. All good? All right. Could I have a motion to accept the grouping of the consensus items?
So moved.
Ms. Lindvik, can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Roll.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I just want to pause, if it's okay. John introduced Andrew Lang. Andrew Lang was just approved by you as our new business administrator. Andrew is a Batavia resident, Batavia parent, as you can see with his 4 children here. His wife's a proud BHS graduate. She was a swimmer here in high school. And Andrew has had 5 years of experience at Roy Hart as their successful business admin. He and I worked kind of side by side when I was at my old district. So I'm very pleased to introduce Andrew Lang to our team. He'll be starting on October 2nd. Andrew, you want to say a few words?
Sure, I'd just like to say thank you. I appreciate the board, the opportunity to serve the community and the district that my kids either attend or will be attending, and I really look forward to be part of the Batavia CSD team.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, now on to new business. First one is approve the BCSD Code of Conduct as presented for the 2023-24 school year. Any questions or discussion?
And once again, those include the changes I just walked you through. So.
All right, could I have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Lindvik? Second?
Second.
Ms. Bowman?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right, approve teacher mentoring program handbook. Any questions or discussions? Okay, could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Give me one, would you? Mr. Regal? Can I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Lindvik?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, third, approve policy manual revisions as listed with waiver of second reading. Any questions or discussions? Could I have a motion, please?
So move.
Ms. Bowman, second.
Second.
Ms. Anderson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, we're on to other reports. Do any board members have any comments or anything they want to share with the public right now?
Just touching on what Jason said, congratulating Mr. Brownlee. He's been in our district for a very long time. He's done a lot for this district as well. He's put in long hours, many times traveling to away games after his office hours are done. So I want to thank Mike and congratulate him as well. Welcome, Andrew, to the district, and again, congratulate Scott as well, who's been with us for a long time as well, and wish you the best.
Thank you.
I'm just going to bring up the Main Street Theater is going to be opening up, it looks like, this upcoming weekend. They've got like 3 shows that they're going to be showing. Crybaby the Musical, August 11th and 12th at 7:30, and then August 13th at 2 p.m. So if anybody could go out there and support the folks at Batavia Players, that would be a great thing. So just wanted to bring that up to everybody. Let's see here. All right, at this time, we are going to go into executive session. The executive session is going to be motion to move to discuss matters relating to the medical, financial credit, or employment history or of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Could I please have a motion? So moved. Mr. Regal, could I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Lempe, all in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Okay, we are in executive session and we will not be returning.